Hello, Tom. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Diane?
I'm well. It's always good to see you. And I'm excited to see you in New Jersey where you're speaking. I always like hearing you speak and happy to have you as an industry friend. So I'm going to ask you a few questions today,
Yeah.
as you know. So Tom, tell everyone what is Tallann Resources and who do you serve?
Yeah. So, Tallann Resources is my company, and we primarily, well, almost exclusively serve the staffing industry. And we provide online training, web-based training, in-person training, coaching, consulting services, and work across all different verticals from every size company, from startups with zero revenue all the way up to the biggest publicly traded companies.
Awesome. And you wrote the book on staffing sales too.
Yeah, one of
One of
them.
it. I didn't say the book. And Tom, and you are also a client of ATeam.
Yep.
And can tell us, how do you use your virtual assistants from ATeam?
Yeah, so as you know, this originated from you and I met at the Staffing Sales Summit a year ago, a little over a year ago. And the initial conversation was around how my clients could benefit from the services that you had. And then I started to think about it. I go, well, maybe I could. And then it was one of those things about what can I really keep a team or a virtual assistant or a couple of virtual assistants busy. And so that was kind of the back and forth for a while. And then we just jumped into it last summer. It was probably late summer, early fall. And they've done a great job of really, one of the biggest things they help me do is keep me on track with stuff. And, I've always been doing things on social media that I do a lot on LinkedIn, but it was always really sporadic, and it was when I would get to them, and it was kind of an afterthought. And so I really wanted, as one of the major things, was to have more of a consistent presence on LinkedIn, and then start to expand to some of the other areas that I completely neglected, like YouTube.
Hmm.
Um, and so what they have done for me is, first of all, keep me on track by saying, "Hey, Tom, we got to do this," which has been extremely helpful, but also help me curate the content that I already have. And so, over the years, I've been on dozens of podcasts, hundreds of webinars, all sorts of articles, my book, all sorts of different content, and they've been able to help me curate that. We work together as far as what is the most relevant right now, and then we put that content out there for everybody. And so that's one of the big things they've helped me with. We're starting to do that more and more on YouTube, which I'm excited about, is building that presence because it's a different type of social medium. And then they also help me with just some administrative stuff. They help me with some travel. They help me with some of the things that my clients need, which allows us to be more responsive to our clients rather than me, because I travel, about 40% of the year. So there are many times when there's a delay, sometimes a significant delay for me to get back to my clients on certain things. So they've been able to pick up those things. And we just keep, as we work together, we just keep learning more and more things for them to do. And they've really become an integral part of my company. So it's been great.
Nice. Can I throw you a curveball that wasn't on the question list?
Sure.
I know you can handle it. What do you think, like, what would you tell somebody, like someone, like, what do you think is like a common misconception about working with offshore virtual assistants and what have you found? What have you learned that's
I think the biggest misconception was the one that I had, which is I don't have enough to keep them busy.
Mm,
And there's um, there's a book that I've been reading lately that just reinforced and even really got me to go back to the team and say, I think there's a lot more that I can have you help me with. And it's called Buy Back Your Time. And it's a great book. To me, it's a lot of stuff that, it's one of those things I always hate as a speaker. I always hate it when people go, "Oh, that was a great refresher," or "Oh, that's some great common sense that I hadn't thought about for a while." But it really was one of those things where you're reading this book and you're going, "I should have thought about this already, but I didn't." And so, and he frames it in such a way that it really caused me to go back and say, "What are the other things that I can do?" And when you start to have the team, when you start to have them do things and you start to get a comfort level with them helping you with different things, it then becomes easier and easier for you to say, "Hey, okay, can you do this?" So I think the biggest misconception is just a lot of particularly entrepreneurs think they should do it on their own. And when you really look at the ROI of your own time, it's some of the stuff we do is pretty silly that we're doing it because we're trying to build businesses. And so there's other stuff that people can help with that free you up to do the more value added stuff.
Yeah, totally. I use my team now pretty much strategizes and makes most of the decisions as well. So just taking that off me is
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
helpful. Yeah.
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 It's great.
Yeah. Okay, Tom. So who should get in touch with you and how can they find you?
I mean, a couple of ways. TallannResources.com, which is spelled like Tallann, two L's and two N's. But TallannResources.com, you can go and see all of our information about all of our online training options, all those different things. LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn. So if you follow me or connect with me on LinkedIn, that's a great way to keep in touch with me as well. So those are probably the two easiest ways to check me out and
Okay,
keep
it's
in
probably a
touch.
silly question because you're very visible. When you first became a client and the team did that video about you, which we
Yeah.
have to repost, and somebody messaged me and they're like, wow, how did you get Tom Erb as a client? And also thank you for referring people to us because we really
Yeah.
appreciate that too.
Well, it's it's been a great experience. My two virtual assistants, Chara and Jen, are fantastic. They are very positive about everything. There is no boy, I don't know if we can do that. It is okay. Let's go do it. They also come in with a lot of examples, a lot of suggestions, and so they've been great. And it just makes it easier for me to refer my clients and colleagues to you all because I've had that success with it. And I've already seen it with some of my clients that are using the ATeam as well, is that they're having success with it too. The great thing is I've been working with some of my clients where I had a call yesterday with one where we were talking about their virtual assistant helping them, and our discussions around their sales and marketing strategy included, well, your VA could help us create some of this content. So it just kind of scaled the sales for my clients already. So yeah, it's been a great experience. Definitely easy to refer.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Tom. I really appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. Thanks, Diane.
But